Hello, I'm Phil Spencer, and I'm going to be answering the question that so many people are asking at the moment. Is now the right time to buy? Well, since the start of 2023, the cost of living crisis, together with spiralling interest rates, has certainly put the brakes on what was a booming housing market. The market's quietened down, and we're certainly not seeing the price rises that we have seen over the last few years. So, is now a good time to buy a home, or actually, is it better to stick with renting? One of the first steps, if you like, in deciding whether to buy is to find out actually what you can afford, what mortgage you could get. And for that, I would recommend the use of a mortgage advisor. There's a link with this episode to connect you to one of our trusted experts who can guide you through the whole mortgage maze. And please don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be keeping you updated as the property market changes and evolves through the year. Let's kick things off by looking at general pros of buying versus renting, regardless of what the market's doing at any time. For me, I think one of the biggest pluses of owning your own home is that you make the rules. You decide, you're in charge, you're in control. The freedom to create the environment that suits you best. And if something goes wrong, well, you can fix it. You have to fix it in your own time scale, but you can fix it your way. You don't have to hang around waiting for the landlord to resolve things in their way. Home ownership, I think, also provides stability, and it provides the security for you and your family. You don't have to worry about a landlord selling up or a landlord putting up the rent. And I think one of the biggest pluses, of course, to owning your own home is the investment side. As you pay off your mortgage over the course of time, so your equity will increase. That's the difference between what your home is worth and the amount you owe on your mortgage, the equity. At the end of your mortgage term, you'll own the property outright, and you will at that point have a significant asset. But it's fair to say there are downsides. Upfront costs for buying are chunky. You need over £15,000 for the minimum deposit on the average property price. The average property price at the moment is a shade under 300 grand. That is apart from money for legal costs, removals and so on. If you need to relocate, it's expensive to sell and buy again. And if the property market is slow, well, you could spend months trying to sell. You could spend months trying to buy. You also need to budget, of course, for ongoing maintenance and for repairs. And in older homes in particular, that can be quite a drain on finances. It really needs a contingency plan. Having a mortgage is expensive. You'll pay interest on what you own for the whole period of the loan, and for many of us that's 25 years. And as we've seen recently, increases in interest rates can have a huge impact on your monthly mortgage payments. The slowdown in the property market reminds us that prices do not inevitably rise year on year. If you need to sell your house during a downturn, you could end up selling at a loss. And you only have security if you can keep up your mortgage repayments every month. If you can't, then you could be at risk of having your home repossessed. And that's deeply, deeply unpleasant. So, one to think about. It's easy to see why some people prefer the freedom of renting. Your commitment is limited to the length of your tenancy, and if something does go wrong, it's someone else's job to fix it. Renting doesn't demand as a huge deposit up front, so finding somewhere to live is actually far easier if you're renting. And if it turns out not to be perfect, not to be ideal, well, you can relocate just as soon as your tenancy is up. So, what's our advice about buying versus renting in the current market? Interest rates on mortgages are higher today, they have been for many years, making monthly repayments less affordable for many. Interest rates may, of course, come down again, but recent events have shown us that it's important to build flexibility into your budget so you can cope with the unexpected. Before you decide to buy, you do need to consider your job security, your savings, and of course also your long-term goals. And if you're uncertain about any of those, then it might be worth waiting until you're in a more secure position. On the other hand, it's true that property prices have come down in some areas. That last bit is key, in some areas. The UK housing market is a series of micro markets, if you like. Things are very polarised, and some areas may still be experiencing rising prices while others are slowing or, in some cases, even declining. With the market and interest rates so hard to predict, the most important factor is your personal circumstances. Can you afford a mortgage plus the running costs? Could you cope if interest rates went up again? Or if you lost your job? Why do you want to buy? And how long do you plan to stay in the same place? If buying is the right option for you individually, then stay tuned, because we share a ton of insider advice for both buying and selling. Do join me next time.